guys. I am so excited to be back for episode 2 of Mom-ish, and I have an amazing special guest, which is my cousin, Miss Carmen Savage.
Hello.
If you don't know, August is National Breastfeeding Awareness Month, and this week, the first week of August, is actually World Breastfeeding Week. So we are wrapping up World Breastfeeding Week with all the breastfeeding content that we can give to you. We hope that this video shows you why and how beneficial it is. It's going to be hard. It's going to be selfless of your body, of your mind, of your time. But it's beneficial to your baby. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about just the overview, the general of breastfeeding.
My decision to breastfeed came from me just really wanting to make sure that I was giving my baby the best thing that I thought was for her. You know, I know that some mothers are not fortunate enough to be able to breastfeed and produce milk, but I felt like if my body can produce it, then I want to be able to give my baby what God blessed me with. So,
absolutely. The World Health Organization recommends that mothers breastfeed their children up to 6 months exclusively. After 6 months, they don't say stop breastfeeding. They continue to encourage it. They actually encourage it up to 2 years. And people are like, that's too long. No, it's not. Fun fact, so our babies are a week apart, September 26th and Joey's October 5th. So we're both 22 months into this breastfeeding journey. Let's talk about some of the things that we put in our bodies or even on top of our bodies that can be transferred to the baby through the milk.
Yeah, so for me personally, I have struggled with acne, hormonal acne for a very long time. And so when I was pregnant, I experienced really bad acne. And so after I had my daughter, it got even worse. But when I started going to an esthetician, she made sure that the products that she was using on my skin was not going into my bloodstream that could be potentially harmful to the baby. And a lot of times we are not educated about those things. We think after we have the baby, then, you know, we can just go back to using whatever. But a lot of the products that we use on our skin and even our hair, it goes into our bloodstream and it could be potentially harmful to the baby. So I know that for the longest I was like, ooh, I really want clear skin. But I felt selfish because I was like, I can wait a little bit longer, you know, because I know that, you know, breastfeeding is not just beneficial to myself, it's very beneficial to my baby as well. And I've actually heard that I probably won't stop struggling with the hormonal acne until months after I stop nursing, because it's just still going to take your body time to get regulated. So
let's talk about the pros and cons of breastfeeding. So many pros. Let's start there. It's best for your baby. It has the antibodies and the nutrition that the babies need. I can attest to the fact that I've been to the doctor, if I wasn't being over dramatic, for Joey less than 5 times. Like, I can count on one hand how many times I've been to the doctor for Joey. I can count on one hand how many ear infections he had, how many colds he's had. I really do believe the antibodies and nutrition that he's getting from my milk has played a factor into the minimal amount of doctor visits that we've had to do. What's another pro for you?
A long-term thing that I actually read was for the mother and the baby. It can actually prevent different types of cancers that women get. So, and it is not just for the baby, but for the mother as well. Of course, everybody's like, oh, I'm going to breastfeed so I can lose weight. Honey,
I didn't lose a pound.
But I did lose an enormous amount of weight just like that. However, that also contributed to my lifestyle before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and after pregnancy. But you do burn a lot of calories when you're breastfeeding.
So breastfeeding increases the survival rate for preemies. NICU, they won't breast milk because they have the antibodies and the nutrition to help the preemie baby gain weight faster and to develop faster. It's not to say that a preemie cannot survive off of formula. They just rather have breast milk.
Honestly, in my opinion, if they would rather have the breast milk, then that lets you know.
That lets you know, like, this baby is creamy, you know, they made it by the grace of God, and now they're asking for a mother's breast milk to help them develop.
Another pro would be just the connection that you develop with your child. I know that your baby is going to have a connection to you just simply because they were connected to you for an entire 9 months. They were hearing your voice and hearing your heartbeat and things like that. But I just know that, you know, it does develop a deeper connection.
One of the last pros that I want to speak about is the reduced risk of obesity, allergies and asthma, even to the point of autism as well. I've heard that a breastfed baby has a lower risk of getting any of those diseases or disorders because nutrition is in the breast milk. I also heard that Albert Einstein was a breastfed baby or a breastfed child to 6 years old, which is why he's Albert Einstein. Breastfeeding babies are supposed to have higher IQ, so we'll see, honey. So those are pretty much some of the pros to breastfeeding. I wanted to say cons too, because some people will be like, well, there are cons, there are disadvantages. Okay. What are some of the cons?
Your cons are definitely going to be, this was more so in the beginning stages, waking up in the middle of the night to pump. You have to wake up to nurse and then to pump too, like, or you're just gonna have
wake up
rocks.
In the gore.
You're gonna wake up like this, like one boob up here, one boob down here, and it was so painful. Nipple shields did not help. For me, in my opinion, they made it worse. But when you're not used to, you know, a baby latching onto you, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be painful. Honestly, if the baby is latching on properly, it shouldn't hurt after a while.
Let's talk about breastfeeding laws. Breastfeeding is now, by the grace of God, it's legal in all 50 states. And so
it should have never been illegal.
It should have never been illegal. As long as you're on public property, we nurse in the car a lot.
That's the thing right there.
But if we're out and he wants them, she's like, oh, here we go. What about breastfeeding in the workplace and have to pump? That's a big thing. Another reason that a lot of moms said that they quit nursing so early is because they had to return to work and their job did not provide suitable time or space to pump.
You know, when I returned to work, I had a few managers that, you know, were very understanding of it. My biggest issue, though, was that there was not a good place for me to have the privacy to pump. Your employer cannot tell you to pump in the restroom. If they do that, then you ask them, do you eat your lunch in the restroom? Do you feed your kids in the restroom? If the answer is no, then no.
It's a law that you have to provide a nursing mother with a space that's not the bathroom to pump as well as break time. Now, some employers allow their break time to be paid, some doesn't. That's just, you know, at least you get the time that you need to make sure that you can pump for your child. Let's talk about the pump for a minute. I absolutely love my Medilla, which Carmen also has one. You get a free breast pump with your insurance. I'm going to drop the link on how you can sign up for that. They're not going to give it to you immediately. They're going to end up shipping it when it gets closer to the due date. But as long as you register, it'll be yours. I chose Medilla because of the reviews. And when I looked into it, they had a lot of parts available at Target, which is our favorite store. So I was like, you know, if there's a time that the part breaks, if there's a time the part tears, I can go to Target to get it instead of having to go to the Medilla website or any other website. So that was a determining factor in choosing this pump. Another thing is Medilla has everything. Like, they have the bottles to the changing parts, and they have the storage bags. And they have cleaning products. Yeah, the spray. This thing, y'all, this thing been in storage, so don't judge me. But this is,
I hardly ever use that.
I love it now more than ever because when Joey's with his father, I'm not pumping. So I just put this and it expresses the milk It's not the same thing as having a pump pull your breast in and out. It just drains some milk, which I absolutely love. But when I'm pumping on one breast, I'm going to have a letdown on the one that I'm not pumping on. So to make sure I can save that milk, I put this on there, and it takes it. I love it. It was $20, a really great $20 investment. Talk to us about, pumping and traveling and nursing, being a nursing mother and traveling.
Honey, my first time traveling without my baby, having to pump like around the clock numerous times, like every hour, because it's equivalent to you nursing your baby. So that's how your body is used to producing the milk. So I was away from my daughter for 3 days. I brought home 100 ounces of milk.
Oh my God.
In 3 days. Okay. 3. So I was like, okay, I'm doing my thing. Now that time, it wasn't as stressful, like flying with it, because number one, what I would always tell the, TSA, hey, I have breast milk, I'm a nursing mother, and there are airline laws as well. So your breast pump and all of that different type of stuff, they're considered like medical equipment. So, even though it's a liquid, they have to allow you to take it.
Before we wrap up, let's talk about really quickly the things that increase your supply.
Oh yeah,
For me, I was never really trying to increase my supply because I had a pretty good supply, but I did have a dip one time. So somebody tried oatmeal, and when you try oatmeal, you cannot get the box with the artificial flavors and colorings. You have to get oats. Like, you need to eat raw oats, and make it oatmeal, and that worked immediately. I made lactation cookies, and they were oatmeal chocolate chips, and they worked like overnight, and it was amazing. Another thing is salmon. We both love salmon anyway, and that was one that I was really surprised by. I was like, fish, really? But it worked.
I know for me, the oatmeal definitely. My first dip in my milk supply, someone told me Gatorade.
Yes.
I didn't use that long because Gatorade has so much sugar in it, but I do feel like it did help. What else? There were also
Body Armor.
Body Armor does work. You can buy Body Armor everywhere.
Yes, I think the most important to help your milk supply is water.
Water, yes.
So for my body weight and size, I'm supposed to drink 10 cups a day. But do you know that's supposed to double when you're nursing? And so a lot of people be like, well, I drink a lot of water. Are you drinking enough?
Yeah. You don't want to dehydrate your body. And your milk needs enough water in it as well.
They have to your milk is water.
It's so much water in it. It's like a high percentage of water.
Yes. You literally have to double your intake just to have enough for your baby, not even yourself.
Yeah.
So that's important.
And I will say for me too, what really just helped out with my overall milk production and increase for it was, and I know some mothers may do this, but I would nurse on one side and pump on the other.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. But other than that,
is that everything?
That's pretty much.
If y'all have any other questions, or recommendations or things like that, just leave it down below. Even if we have to do a part 2, I know I'm gonna have a video coming to my page about just my reality of breastfeeding as well. And so honestly, like I said, it's such a big topic that we may have to do just there's
probably some things that we missed. So if there's something that you want us to discuss, just drop it in the comment bar. We will be more than happy to do a part 2. We are so excited for you guys to have joined this episode, and we just really wanted to be informative on this topic because we are nursing mothers. We're both 22 months in, and it means the world to us to be able to have supplied our babies
this long.
Oh my gosh. Through the sweat, tears, the blood, the cracking. I love it. There are so many resources out there. Please don't miss them. Please don't miss your opportunity. You can do this. Your baby is counting on you. Your baby needs you. And you're strong enough, Mom. You got this. Your body is made for this.
Yep.
So, again, thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, bye.